Hi everyone, my name's Tom. I'm from Bar Clara and we've partnered up with The Gospel to bring you a Father's Day kit. So happy Father's Day, this is your day. We're going to be making a modular style old fashioned today. So basically you're going to get to choose all of the different flavors that you want in there based on what we've given you, or throw your own twist on it if you think you know better than we do, which would be completely reasonable. So old fashions are probably one of the simplest whiskey drinks to make. Which gives them a lot of customizability, but they've also got a really rich history. They're one of the oldest cocktails ever made, and they are the epitome of what a cocktail is. A cocktail is definitionally sugar, bitters, booze, water. So I'm going to talk you through what's included in the pack. We've got a little taster bottle of Gospel whiskey, which is a really awesome rye made here in Melbourne. Super duper tasty, strong notes of spice and apple, which we're going to be kind of honing in on with our bitters, which we've chosen. We've chosen the classic Angostura bitters, which is a cinnamon and clove driven bittering agent with a mellow sweetness to it as well. For our sugar element, we've got two options for you depending on your dietary requirements. If you have no dietary requirements whatsoever, we recommend going with the Pedro Jimenez, which is a style of Spanish wine, which contains about 350 grams of sugar a litre. If you struggle with fructose, or you're vegan, or you don't like wine for some reason, we've included a little bag for you here, filled with rye grain, cinnamon, and dehydrated orange. And by adding these to boiling water and a bit of sugar, you can come up with a replacement for the wine very easily. Nice thing about this as well is that because it's using rye grain in it, it pairs really nicely with the whiskey. So you can choose if you'd like a more grain-driven drink rather than a sweeter style drink. Last but not least, we've got your super fancy aging jar, which comes with mesquite chips in the base, which is a style of wood that's used primarily in Tex-Mex barbecue. We really like it in bartending because it gives off a wide range of flavors. You'll notice when you start toasting it that it's going to smell like popcorn, and then over time, as it gets more cooked, it moves into this kind of delicious, smoky, almost tobacco kind of flavor. So to start off with prep, everyone turn on your ovens. We recommend 200 degrees, not fan forced. Once it gets up to temp, what you want to do is take your wood chips, put them in. We recommend for about 15 to 20 minutes. That'll make it quite smoky, so you're more than welcome to go shorter than that. Around 10 minutes will give it a nice nutty flavor. Anything less than that will be nutty and green, which is still tasty. Maybe not what you're looking for in a sweeter style old fashioned, but if you choose to make it a drier style, that might work as well. Next, we're going to be showing you how to make the sugar syrup we were telling you about before if you don't feel like using the PAs. Basically what you want to do is take out your dehydrated orange. That's going to be your garnish for when you serve it to yourself later. Put that down. Here's a pot I prepared earlier, and what you want to do is done. So toast that for about 20 or 30 seconds on a high heat, and then add about 100 mils of water and 100 grams of sugar. Let it simmer, come to the boil, and after about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, you should have a richly flavored syrup which can take the place of your Pedro Jimenez. You'll only need about 30 mils of it in this particular one, but if you bottle it and put it in a fridge, it should keep for about 4 weeks. So if you wanted to do this a number of times with different whiskeys, by all means. Next we're going to be doing the toasting. I'm just going to go and grab some that I've prepared earlier. Here we go. I've got the mesquite. It should be looking something like this. I don't expect you to have a tiny little cast iron pan at home, but whatever you choose to use will be good. So just take these and be aware that they're probably going to be quite hot because they've just been in the oven. And you just want to add them to the base of your jar. Obviously more of them will give more of a wood flavor, whereas less of them will let the whiskey shine through. Now, you want to add your wood to the jar and then add your water. Because this is going to be quite hot, if you add your Pedro Jimenez or your whiskey immediately, you're going to lose some of the flavor that would normally come along with that. So we're just going to add the water first as an effort to cool it. And then after that, we're going to add our bitters, which are the smallest bottle that we've given you. There's about 5 ml in here, which is tons. You probably don't need all of this. If it is a more herbal style old fashioned that you're after, more cinnamon and clove driven, by all means add it all. But realistically, you only need to add about half of it. Next, we're going to add our sugar element. If you've chosen to make your sugar syrup with the rye grain, then 30 ml of that, or about a shot. We're going to be adding about 30 ml of Pedro Jimenez. Just to be clear, before, when you're adding your water to the mixture, we only want to be adding about 25% of the total volume before the water's added. So about 30 mils, maybe a little bit over, is perfect. Last but not least, we're going to add our whiskey. I've measured out some earlier, so I don't have to crack this little bottle here, but yours is already pre-measured for you. Now, last but not least, you can choose to add some things to it yourself. So if you've got some cinnamon sitting around the house, or some vanilla, or caraway, ginger, anything that you want, you can add that in. I'm going to add the cinnamon that I may or may not have used to make the rye grain syrup from before. That can just sit in there. And now we want to close this up. You want to make sure that there's significant oxygen on top, because that oxygen is going to help it age. It's going to give it a more caramel flavor. If you've got it up to about here, you've added too much water. And now we need to age it. So unfortunately, we can't just chuck it in the oven or the dishwasher and hope that the heat gets it done. What we need to do is put it out of direct sunlight and in a place with a lot of temperature variation. I recommend a kitchen, or if your laundry has a drying machine, a clothes dryer that is run often, they can be excellent options, but really the most important thing is just to keep it out of direct sunlight to stop it from interacting with the whiskey flavors. Wherever you choose to age it, I would leave it for about a week before it will be ready, but realistically it's not going to go off anytime soon. So you can leave it longer and let the wood interact more, and what's going to happen is you're going to have a richer, more silky style of drink. When it's ready, strain it out, and you should get about 2 to 3 servings, depending on size of glass and level of thirst. You can either put it back in the jar and chill it before serving, or you're more than welcome to serve it over a large ice rock like this. Add your orange, and happy Father's Day.